Sorry this came out late, but I've had a long week. I'm drained as fuck. But do you know what can help cure that? Music. This is the musical show where we talk about music because it's the musical show. Yeah, right. Obviously, the usual. We start off with the albums that came out last week, give them a little review, then we look at the albums that came out today. Well, yesterday, by the time it comes out on YouTube, but basically it is on Friday on JTV, and we can like pretend like it's a genuine channel and stuff. It's a fun little game.
Yeah,
if it sounds daunting, alright. But another thing, if you want to see my opinions on albums, I've got a TikTok here, music reviews if you want to follow. I just did a review on one of the albums that came out today. I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah. Only 2 albums released last week that I thought I should bother reviewing. Starting off with the second best, Shania Twain, Queen of Me. The first half was dreadful, and it's boring and uninteresting pop that doesn't do a thing to be interesting or do a thing to be good in the uninteresting field, which is what Ava Max did with their last album. It actually turned out to be decent. However, the second half wasn't actually too bad, and Queen of Me, the title track, was actually really good. So yeah, you've got a decent enough first half, but an awful decent enough second half, but an awful first half. They sort of combine to a painfully average listen, and it's so painfully average that it's literally on the dot a 5, like not even like a 5.2. It's literally on the dot a 5. It's so average. But by far album of the week and one of the best albums of the year, especially with that Kimber album from last week, Growing Off Me. It's now my second favourite album of the year so far. At the moment, I have Kimber as around a 9.4, but apparently there's glaring songwriting issues that I don't really notice, so I'll have to re-listen and see if that affects my enjoyment of the album in any way. But Ray, My 21st Century Blues, album of the week, and yeah, second best album of the year. So yeah, to go through all this stuff, especially with their old record label that Ray did for years, finally release her first studio album, and for it to turn out this good is super impressive. There are glaring flaws production-wise, and there are defo improvements that could have been made, and I defo have little niggles. But if it was just like the second half, even though it would only be like an EP by then, it would genuinely be a 10 out of 10. Also, Environmental Anxiety is one of the best songs of the year so far. It sounds like Anxiety, and it's just an absolute masterpiece. And with the amount of anxiety she's gone through, especially with her old record label, and obviously her new record label, Music Stressful, as a business. Yeah, this is absolutely outstanding, and Environmental Anxiety is everything that I love about music. And yeah, one of my favourite tracks this year, if not my favourite. Like, just full stop. So yeah, this album is outstanding. And as she said in one of her songs, she is indeed a very, very, very strong woman. And there's definitely one thing, even if you don't like the damn album, you can take away. But I love this. And I have it as a 9.6 out of 10. It is absolutely amazing. Oops. Right. 5 albums released this week. Let's start off with the one I've already listened to, Rebecca Black, Let It Burn. If you follow my TikTok, you already know what I think of it. And if you don't, yeah, I have a TikTok. I showed it like 4 minutes ago. I'm not going to give any spoilers about what I thought about it, but one thing I will say, if you're expecting it to be as bad as Friday, it's not as bad as Friday. I'll let that go. You can listen to it. Although, I did forget to mention one thing, actually, so yeah. I did skip an album last week by Young Lean, Sugar World. Although, I heard a little excerpt from one of the songs and saw the album cover. Saw that I wasn't even on Young Lean's official Spotify. I was on like flipping. I was on like a really weird sort of other Spotify that he has for like, I suppose, records that he are just different from his usual sound, I presume. But yeah, I've heard a few excerpts and I just think I do not want to listen to it. So I haven't listened to it and I won't listen to it. So, yeah. If you want to listen to drunk uncle singing at a family reunion, the album, listen to it, because that's like what it's been described as, and from what I've heard, that is exactly what it is. But yeah. As I said about him, Rebecca Black, going back to Rebecca Black now, this could be a pain to edit. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's better than Friday, so it could be anything from a 2 then. Right. Paramore dropped their hugely anticipated first album in 6 years, This Is Why Today, with some of the most critically acclaimed singles in a while, with, say, This Is Why, which I think is a fantastic song. So yeah, 10 songs, 36 minutes. From what I've heard and what people have said, I'm expecting it to be around an 8, and maybe even a 9, we'll just have to see. Lance Skywalker, one of those obscure hip hop artists that no one will know anything about. He's only got 155,000 monthly listens. Has dropped his second album and first in 7 years, Audio Didactic. It will feature Absol and Isaiah Rashad, as well as VCR. 11 songs, 32 minutes in length. Given he was on Absol's new album, I don't think it was one of my favourite songs on the album, but I still think I had it as like a 7, 8 out of 10. I'm going to say I'm expecting like a 6 or a 7 out of Audio Didactic, but I'd love to be proved wrong. I'd love to enjoy the album. Shy Glizzy dropped his album today. I can't even say it's like his debut or like something. He's dropped a hell of a lot of albums. 1 hour, 2 minutes long, 20 tracks featuring SG or ESTG, 21 Savage and NBA Youngboy, as well as Chris Brown. I don't get why artists still work with him. This one is going to be one of those absolutely horrendous ones. And from the album cover, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't think it's going to be awful, but it's going to suck. I'm going to say it's a 3. It's not going to be one of those I despise. And finally, Cash Doll is releasing her new mixtape, Back on Dexter, being produced by DJ Drama. I've listened to a few of his mixtapes. I'm going to listen to everything he's like included on because of how prolific he is and the fact that he's worked with French Montana a number of times, NBA Youngboy. And I just feel like I should listen to his stuff. He's quite known in the rap game, so like, why not? 11 songs, 32 minutes. It'll feature Lakia, Payroll Giovanni, Peasy, Baby Runner, Skilla Baby, Cash Kid, Risk Taker, D-Boy, DJ BJ, 3525. You got some goofier names here. Tay-B, Sada Baby, Icewear, Vezo, Coach Joey, RMC Mike, Louis Ray, YNJ, Brian Hamilton, TLG Deuce, but most notably, Babyface Ray, who has worked with the likes of Lil Baby. I'm pretty sure. He's definitely worked for like Babytron and stuff. So, like, he got some experience. But yeah, some of these I've never heard of. But, you know, that's what DJ Drama does. He has, like, 1 or 2 artists that we know. And also about 50 that we don't. That chances are probably trash. But yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to really enjoy a DJ Drama tape. But, like, She seems to be like a pop and R&B artist. So although given her description, I think she is just a rapper. But I do think it might be one of those like R&B inspired sort of rap albums in a way. It's definitely going to be like R&B elements, but it's going to be like a hip hop album, obviously. A trap album, I presume. R&B inspired trap. I mean, it could work, but it also could absolutely flop. And with DJ Drama being the producer, I don't have much hope. I'll say a 5 to be optimistic, but that is being optimistic. I'd love to enjoy it. I'd love to enjoy any album, but like sometimes you just listen to albums and you're seeing albums released and you just have a gut feeling that you won't. Sometimes it's wrong. I'd love to be proved wrong in terms of expecting an album to be good. Obviously, if I'm expecting an album to be good and it turns out to suck, then I don't want to be proved wrong. Carly Rae Jepsen's The Loneliest Time from last year. It's a prime example. It proved me wrong in all the wrong ways because of how much I hated it. And how much I was disappointed with it because of how fake the vocals sounded, pretty much. She can sing. I don't get why she put so much flipping auto-tune into them. It sucks. Sounds ugly. It's ill. Probably one of my more controversial takes, my thoughts on that album, to be honest. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. She has far better in her catalogue. She has, but I think everyone thinks that. Emotion's a fantastic album. But yeah. Paramore, I think, is going to have a really good album. And there is a chance for Lansky Walker, and I'd argue even Castro, but Shy Glizzy, his album, I think, is almost destined to suck. And Rebecca Black, I'm not even going to say anything whether I liked it or not. You can find out through my TikTok or next Friday, if I remember to do it on the Friday. I should be a lot less drained because I don't have school. But yeah. That is it for today's episode. See you next week. Hopefully, I get proved wrong and this will actually be like one of those really good weeks. Although, Paramore aside, and maybe Rebecca Black, I might think it's a 10. I might think it's a 2. You never know. Unless you've watched the TikTok, then you do know exactly what I think of it. I'll also do a review for Paramore's album on my TikTok, by the way. But the rest I'll keep until the musical shows episode thingy comes out. Unless it's like hopelessly bad or super, super good. Then, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week.